I used to listen to good podcasts and everything was fine, but now I listen to this podcast because I've lost my mind. My gym partner is a podcast. My gym partner is a podcast. Yeah!
Bull shark, porcupine, I don't know what. Doing this podcast is a pain in my...
Man, I fucking hate Illumination. Hey, movie critique gal here with my next hot take. Illumination, they suck. Gonna hate them.
And there's like a thumbnail of you with like your mouth open, and there's like, and you like are making like an angry face.
Yeah, I look really angry.
And there's a minion, and the minion is like has a big like bullet in its head. Like it's bleeding.
I'm holding a gun. Like I'm holding a gun. The minion's like got a bullet hole, and I have this like smirk on my face. Like, yeah. Ha! Take that, stupid, dumb hate. So much I hate.
Your smirk.
Okay. All right. What brought this on?
I was just thinking about how much I fucking hate Illumination.
Yeah, I watch The Secret Life of Pets. It's first of all, how is it a secret life? Them fucking guys are everywhere. They're in the sewers, and they're having such a big grand old time. They're driving cars and shit. It's fucking crazy. It ain't.
Wait, when do they drive cars in The Secret Life of Pets?
There's a part where they drove like a car or something, like, or maybe they were in like a fucking. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I remember them being in a moving vehicle.
You know,
I remember the ugly fucking pig chasing them, and that stupid rabbit. God, what an annoying character. Hey everybody, welcome to my gym partners and podcast. Lucy, you had a dream where I died.
This has gone off the rails already.
It's 2 minutes in. Here we go, baby. Okay, yeah. So last night I had a horrible dream where like Gert died in a really horrific way, graphic way.
I'm very like you told me this, and I told you to save
the details.
The details for the podcast, because I really wanted to like keep that knowledge safe and secure for this. So please tell me, how the fuck did I die?
Okay, so you know how like things happen in dreams that like don't make any rational sense, but in the dream world you're like, oh yeah, that's the rule of the dream, right?
Yeah, like it's like you touch a puddle and it sets you on fire.
Yeah, and like that's the rule of the dream, and it's like normal. So in this world, everybody lived in skyscrapers, and you couldn't leave the skyscraper because it was inhabited by these like monsters. And I really don't know how to describe them. I'm pretty sure I must have based them off of something that already exists. And I can doodle. I want just real quickly. It's like this. It's basically just like a circle with a big mouth, right? Like a big mouth. But then it has.
Oh my god! It's Pac-Man.
But it's got these like. It's got like 4 legs. Just like think about a monster that would thrive in a skyscraper environment. Like it like climbs all over the like. It has like incredible strength. It's got these. Okay, I just this is a rough thing. I'm gonna put it in here. I just made it in MS Paint. This is kind of what it looks like.
Okay, so it's like kind of like a Harvest Man.
Yeah,
like,
it is kind of like a Harvest Man situation. Anyway, so
also
like,
by the way, everybody please call them Harvestmen. Daddy Longlegs is such a stupid name. I always called them Daddy Longlegs, but Harvestman is so much cooler. That's so much better.
But I mean, there's like a different like bug that are called Harvestmen.
Can I finish my story about where Gert dies horrifically to one of these monsters?
Yes, please go on.
Okay, so it's just that you're not supposed to go out or you get eaten by them, but every so often they'll start like banging on the glass and stuff, and like if you don't give somebody up, like, or like if somebody doesn't like fall out or leave, or like they get like satiated in some way, then like it's pretty dangerous for everybody else.
Oh Christ.
So what happened was you, me, and our dear friend Addison were in a skyscraper, and then I look at the monster who's like out like right next to the window, It's like a normal skyscraper. It's just like some windows. It's like glass. Like they could easily get in. And I look at the skyscraper. I look at you and Addison, and I'm like, oh no, no. Like it's hungry. And then I look back at the monster, and then I look back, and you're gone. Like you're not with it.
Oh my god!
And I was like, what happened? And I look back out, and you're out there with the monster.
Was I like dangling from its like mouth?
No, you were like on a. And this is the paradox of a dream, where it was very much like a big tall building skyscraper, but it also suddenly had one of those like fire escape things, like the staircase that goes up and down. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, except so you were on one of those and you were waving at the monster and singing some like sad song. Like you were doing a big heroic sacrifice in a zombie apocalypse movie.
You know what I was singing? I was singing, and I won't back down. Gonna stand my ground. You can stand me up at the gates of hay, and then I get fucking eaten.
Yes, and it was like really graphic and horrifying. And I was like yelling, I was like, no, grr! I was so upset. And then I woke up. And when I woke up, I had this moment where I was like, I need to text Gert. Like, I need to make sure she's still alive. Like, I for some reason thought you might have been dead in real life. But I thought, no, because I got up early to go to work and you were definitely still going to be asleep. So like I would have texted you and you would not have responded for like hours. And I would have been there like, oh my God, she's not responding. She got eaten by a monster. Oh my God.
Oh my god, me friend. She's dead.
But yeah, that was my dream.
So all that in mind, my
Yeah,
gym
so
partner's a monkey.
Yeah, so we're
You
a
know-
podcast where we talk about my gym partner's a monkey.
I'll be honest.
my gym partner.
I'll be honest, that was a good introduction because these episodes, let me tell ya, felt like I was in a dreamscape. I don't know what was going on.
I feel as if we are getting more and more away from the waking world as we go deeper and deeper into these episodes, and I feel like a broken record saying that, but it's literally true. Every single one, it just gets weirder and weirder. I don't know where the music was in these episodes. Like, there was music playing, but it was so much softer. It was kind of like... I feel like these last two episodes of My Gym Partner's a Monkey, if you made them like black and white, they would be like a David Lynch movie. Like they would
I
be
think
like...
the amount of times we've compared parts of My Gym Partner's a Monkey to David Lynch movies is too many now.
Have we done this more
Yes,
than
we have.
once?
We have.
But I mean, is it wrong? Is
No.
it inaccurate?
Not even a little bit.
Like, okay, so these episodes, they got, pretty average premises for cartoons, right? But their pacing and just some jokes and, like, the just laissez-faire nature of, like, it's handling, like, the plot is just so much so that it just feels off. And what better to start with than the Morning Zoo?
Yeah,
Cock.
morning zoo. Cock.
On the sign, the
Yeah.
establishing shot. Also, is it a new establishing shot? Like, am I crazy, or like does the like shot of the school, is it like different now? It like looks farther away.
This is a farther away shot, but I think it's been used like before to illustrate like the sun rising. It might have been done in the anime special. Although I don't remember like the bleachers like for the field.
I'm about to sound crazy here, I think, but was there always a sign right, like, in that spot that said Charles Darwin Middle School, like, over the door?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. It felt newer. It looked different.
I get you, because I was thinking, anyway, the marquee says cock-a-doodle-doo, because it's the morning. Ha. Ha.
Yeah. I don't understand why it's so early in the morning. It's sunrise. It must be like, I don't know, the winter or something. It's just like, the late mornings, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone is like really, really sleepy. They're like, wow, it's so early. Like all the students are yawning and like have crust in their eyes. But Everyone except one shining face.
Well, first, yeah, we cut to, like, Principal Pixiefrog's office here. He's, like, very shiny and clean and happy to do this. Miss Warthog, on the other hand, is a realistic sleeping warthog.
She looks frozen in time. She is a very well rendered model of a warthog, and it's very. She has like eyelashes though. It's quite a visual treat. I would say.
It's very funny. I think it's funny.
I do too. I enjoyed that joke quite a bit. Always love seeing Mrs. Warthog. Really adds to it to see her like it's such a high res.
And so Principal Pixiefrog's so like happy-go-lucky, and I was thinking to myself, wow, I didn't know Principal Pixiefrog was such a morning person. This is such a nice little thing of his character. But Miss Warthog's like, no, this is strange even for you. Like, usually you just kind of walk in here, throw your hat at me, and then, like, read the announcements. And, like, there's, like, a little flashback, and Principal Pixiefrog's reading the announcements in his, like, a dull tone. He's like, today's lunch is bugs. Wow.
Big surprise.
Bugs. Big surprise. Yeah. And, like, Principal Pixiefrog and Mrs. Warthog have also apparently been doing this for 34 years.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Something like that, which is just so long.
So, you know, that kind of disproves the theory that each animal's lifespan is like their natural lifespan. It's definitely, we got some extended lifespans going here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Unless Mrs. Warthog and Principal... Is it possible that Mrs. Warthog and Principal Pixiefrog are mutants that do live longer than the average hog and frog?
Check it out on my Movie Critic Gal review channel, where I talk about my theories about how the minions are mutants, like Miss Warthog and the Frog, Charles Darwin Middle School.
Isn't it funny?
So last night he was at a concert smashing tadpoles, which is a horrible name for a band.
We're going to squish these little tadpoles. What?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I came to you today because I wanted to hear what you thought of my new band that I just, like, got together. I call it Crushing Babies.
Yeah,
like, I thought you'd be really supportive of it.
I really like Crush Baby. That's my favorite band because they're so loud.
But Principal Pixiefrog, it appears, is like a rocker fan. He was just like croaking all night and just having a good time, and so like now he's like really geared and pumped up to.
Oh God! What an awful noise to put on this podcast.
It really warmed the cockles of his heart, but he has been completely croaked out. His voice is no longer functional. So we get like a smash cut to Adam Lyon looking directly at the camera, talking about what a morning it is.
It's
way he
kinda,
does.
Like, I'm not one to rain on Adam's parade as much as other people, but it's kind of infuriating how happy he is here.
It makes me so angry how happy he is.
No, I totally get it. It's like justified because he's like radiating this just positive energy, and it's like, can you fucking like? It's like he's like, I don't know, making fun of you for not being as like happy as he is.
I mean, Jake's right beside him with like a really big backpack for some reason, and just like, really tired of the early morning. But Adam's like, I love the morning. I love when everything's so clean and
wet.
I love moist.
Everything's so fresh and moist.
Everything's moist. Is that a positive?
I guess I don't know. And
well, it's like it's like looking at like the morning dew on grass, and you're just like satisfied. Everything's just like refreshed and clean. I get like.
I just don't think Adam. I don't take Adam as a more. I'll say this: Adam goes through so many mood swings within the first like 5 minutes of this episode. He's like the happiest kid you've ever seen in your life to just like does not want to participate in anything.
I mean, like we see here, like he's given like this thing. Oh, I just love the morning because everything's so great to look at. And then we see Mrs. Warthog. It's like, all right, okay, that's it.
They need to stop being so mean to Mrs. Warthog.
They really do.
I'm tired of it.
You keep acting like she's the ugliest thing in the world, but she ain't. She's cute. She's
a lovely lady. And, you know, it needs to end right here.
Call out poster, my gym partner's a monkey. Stop being mean to Mrs. Warthog. Stop trying to make us think that she's ugly.
These buttholes need to learn what they got. Ain't as bad as they think.
So Adam is tasked with giving the morning announcements because he was the nearest student, I guess, and it seems so chipper. And so they give him like the little like 8.5 by 11 millimeter paper where Principal Pixiefrog reads off of the morning announcements, and Adam is instantly nerve-wracked. He's going on the morning announcements, and he's like, oh, hi.
He can't do it because the paper's too dang little. He can't read from it.
He's like, and then, like, the students start mimicking him and start making horrible noises, and Jake is just
it's just like Midsummer.
It is just like Midsummer.
Y'all gotta stop talking about Midsummer. I don't know.
You need to watch that movie, Renee.
Yeah, watch that movie. Get that movie. Everybody, go see Midsummer.
Hey, Gert,
out in
Gert.
theaters.
Hey, Gert. Imagine I'm getting like really close to you. Okay.
Uh-huh. That's for all y'all who have seen Midsummer. You wouldn't get it, Renee, but
you wouldn't get it, Renee, but it's okay. Like, it's just like only cool people really will get it, I think.
I'm so left out.
But Jake has had enough of this. He's very frustrated. He removes his hat, and long brown curly hair flows out, and then he gets these little circle glasses and puts them on his face.
He pulls out a single hair, and it releases.
Oh, that's right.
all of the hair that he's been storing.
And then, in classic Tom Kenny announcer voice, he goes, "Good morning, Charles Darwin Middle School. You're here with Jumpin' Jake Jolson with the Morning Zoo show."
And so now they're radio men. Everyone just loves it immediately, and Adam is wowed. He's like, "Wow, you're instantly popular, Jake! Oh my god!"
I can't do it, even just a dork. Is what Adam believes. He believes that he can't be this way because he's a dork. He's a dorcas, not popular, not impressive in any way. Jake's
like, he just needs some encouragement. So Jake's like, here we have Dorkerson with the lunch announcement.
And he just says, like, Grubs.
Grubs.
And then everyone thinks, wow, Dorkyson or whatever the hell is really...
Dorkerson.
Yes, that one. He's so cool. And then Adam is just, I'm finally popular. Zuh? And he looks around, and the fucking Principal Pixiefrog's place has been turned into, like, a radio studio.
Yeah, it's, like, completely different now. And Jake is just like, yeah, I did all this stuff. What do you think? He's like, this is too much.
This is a lot. Just a lot, Jake. And then there's that one guy. What's his name?
His name is I Didn't.
Yes,
but like
that's
later
right.
in the episode, he's referring to himself as Larry. So I guess they just
Retcon that.
Yeah, I
Either
suppose he's
retconned
just
that or he accepted his new given name, which. But now he's just like a mover and a shover, just like, hey, where do you want these, boss?
Yeah.
Or Mac.
Yeah, he says Mac, and Jake is like adamantly, no, though. That's Dork Dorkison. Like,
don't you call him Mac? His name is Dorkison.
Your spirit belongs to me. Go.
This really is what this episode feels. But I gotta take the time to mention right now how weird the pacing feels and how weird it will feel. Where we have not gotten any cuts, any transitions. It's just gone all ahead. We've gone through Adam becoming popular, and now everything's the studio's all changing. And we're slowing down for this interaction that's weird, that's gonna justify a change, but it feels really weird. I don't know how else to describe it. Where Larry, I guess, puts down a pile of precariously placed cinder blocks for no other reason than that's gonna fall on somebody.
Eventually. So there's this weird exchange between Jake and Adam where one of the top ones, they're arguing about the situation. Who cares what they're saying? But
yeah, who gives a shit?
The cinder block keeps the topmost one keeps wiggling to fall off, and every so often Jake pauses and pushes it back, and then Adam will hit the tower again by accident using while he's gesturing, and it just goes on like that for quite a bit until finally Adam gets hit with the stupid cinder block.
The damn cinder block fall right on his noggin, and
magically,
his
molecules get all rearranged.
Yeah, I was about to say his molecules got rearranged. And now
he becomes Dorkerson, fully transformed.
Yes.
Hey everybody, it's Dork. Yeah, he turns into Max Headroom pretty much.
And he's just a cool, chill guy. He's talking about how the halls are clear except for, this hallway where there's an overturned flamingo. And Jake is not happy about this turn of events.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what Jake is so unhappy about. It's
odd because it gets justified a bit later, but he's immediately not for this. You would think he'd be oh yeah, Adam, you're embracing the personage, and then slowly it'd be Adam, you're going a bit too far here. It's where's my friend Adam? But no, it's just immediately he's against everyone calling him Dorkerson right after he was adamantly come on, you're Dorkerson, get with the persona.
There's absolutely no grace period in this chain of events, and I find that very funny because almost immediately Jake is just so angry that Adam Line is doing something and not hating it. He looks like he's enjoying himself, and that fills Jake with just utter rage.
I like this one bit here where there are callers coming in. Lupe's complimenting Dorkerson's voice,
Ooh.
But I like Windsor comes in and calls us hey Dorkerson, can you take me out Kong style? And we get a drawn out airplane shooting and crash noise. It goes on for quite a few seconds, and then he's gee, thanks.
Yeah, that was really funny.
That was really thanks. That was really cool. I always love listening to the show in the morning. It's really nice.
Hey, my gym partner's a podcast. First time caller, long time listener. I really love the show. Could you gonk me out with your bonk sound effect?
Yeah, here it is. And then this is where in post I will put the bonk sound effect. I will put it right here. It's a reminder to myself, put the bong aside. Hey, Lucy, wake up. Bonk sound effect here, please. Thank you.
Here, let's put a...
There we go. Yeah, that'll get my attention.
Yeah,
Gee,
we'll
thanks.
get you a nice little clap.
So
Gee, thanks.
There's the bonk.
Hey,
Gee, thanks.
did we, like... Has this happened yet? Did we glaze over the fact that, they bring attention... Jake brings attention. He's like, you remember me, Adam?
No, not yet. It's after.
Okay.
Okay, so after that, there's this sort of montage where just Jake and like Adam or Dorkerson, sorry, are just walking through like different backgrounds, locales. He's like Dorkerson being annoying, like and we're with Dorkerson playing dodgeball and all this stuff.
Dorkerson, right here.
So they're talking. Jake really says something that's funny. He's okay. Hold on.
Oh, it's funny, huh?
It's not. Come on. No, you know what? I'm gonna call out Lucy right now.
No, wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little hard to go through that. Lucy didn't watch part of this episode. Actually, I'm going to say she didn't watch everything in between the beginning and the end.
That's not true. I saw most of it. My mommy came home and she got me food, and I wanted to eat it. So
I can't believe it. You right before we were going to do this, I asked you. I was like, should I go eat or should I get ready to do the podcast?
You were gonna go out to eat. I was having food given to me. I didn't know what time it was getting here, though.
Oh.
I know. As soon as Adam turns into his persona, and
Always justified with your actions, ain't ya?
what happens next, I don't know.
Okay. Adam and Jake's like really trying to jog Adam's memory here because he got knocked with the brick. And he's like, "Come on, you remember you're Adam? I'm your gym partner, even though we don't really hang out in gym all that much." I like that they acknowledge that. That's a long-standing gripe with My Gym Partner's the podcast. It's been addressed. Thank you, My Gym Partner's a monkey cast. My Gym Partner's a crew.
My Gym Partner's crew. I'm so happy that they finally gave us the fucking release that we deserved. We were so fucking angry. I don't know if y'all, whoever's listening, could tell, but we were so fucking angry, right? We were angry, right, Lucy?
I'm always angry.
We were so angry, right, Renee?
Can we get on with this?
Let's just get past this episode so we can get to the next.
Like we keep saying, like we keep reiterating, it's a weird episode. They really want to put Larry in this episode because they gotta reuse a model sheet, I guess. They gotta reuse some frames.
Yeah.
What better character than I didn't?
Oh, he's so funny.
He's really funny. He's really funny. He's got that deadpan voice and everything. He has no place here at all. He's just here. It's really funny. He's talking to Jake they're old friends. Hey, why don't you use a tried and true method for reminding amnesiacs is giving them a familiar smell, and then he takes out one of his own homemade pies, and he's really pushing this pie. Jake's like, no, that won't be necessary. We don't need that.
I made this pie myself.
So disregarding the pie that Larry so carefully baked, Jake brings Adam back to the tile that they first met on, and we get a quick flashback. They're in it's sort of like an 80s kind of mood, like they met in the 80s or something. That's the joke. Yeah, it's something.
That's the biggest compliment you can give that moment.
It's something.
It happened. So is it effective?
It's just a quick, they're gone gag. So it's nothing to worry about. And then Larry comes back with the pie because that obviously didn't work. He's like, what do you got against pie? Come on. Jake really doesn't want the pie for some reason.
Why is he so offended by the pie?
I guess the pie was just detracting from Jake's own sort of mission, his own sort of goal. The pie was kind of a way out for Jake. It was a way to deal with the problem, I guess without having to think about it really. And he didn't like that. He wanted to solve the problem himself. Does that make any sense? I'm kind of just rambling on.
It made sense to me, Gert.
It makes about as much sense as anything else this episode.
So what happens?
They're back in the morning announcements after they disregard Larry. Jake is not enthused, but everyone else is like, yeah, the morning zoo. But coincidentally, at this very moment, we have Principal Pixiefrog all better again.
Okay, I was back. I was here for this. I know where we are now. I came back.
Yes, okay. Lucy, tag.
Okay, so Principal Pixiefrog and Miss Warhog are headed back. Principal Pixiefrog feels so good. He just feels so good. But Miss Warhog's like, remember the warning that Miss Nurse Gazelle gave you.
Don't eat bran cereal or your insides will implode. No, not that one.
No, not that warning. You'll something else, and then you'll if you croak again, one more anger explosion, and you'll explode for real. Something like that. I don't know. He's just like, the only thing that would upset me is somebody moving things in my office.
The only thing that would just completely destroy my body.
Cut to renovated office. Silent Warthog and PF all, and he croaks. It's it's odd that it's such a detailed model for Principal Pixiefrog. They really emphasized it with a shadow, a nice sheen on it, and everything.
They went all out for this gargantuan What is that called? What do you call that on a frog?
His croaker.
Animal Facts Corner. Renee, figure it out.
Animal Facts Corner with Renee!
What is that bubble under a frog's neck?
Glottis.
It is a vocal sac.
Ah.
Oh. The sack.
So yeah, thanks. Vocal sac. So it just so big his sack. It is.
His sack is huge. It's big.
And then Adam is like, "Oh, hey, PF," and he takes off his stupid glasses he was wearing. I forgot if we mentioned that he wears these stupid fucking glasses. One is his radio persona, and Jake is like, "What happened? How'd you get your memory back, Adam?" And he's like, "Oh no, I was just pretending the whole time." And Jake goes, "Zuh."
God,
they
the frequency
of
of
a lot.
Yeah, everyone's sharing Zuh now. It was Adam's thing first, and now everyone's saying it. I hate it.
The frequency of Zuh is becoming more and more, and I don't agree. I love hearing Zuh because it reminds me that
I'm alive. So Jake is honored that because the implication is that Adam did this to sort of teach Jake a valuable lesson in that popularity, having a popular persona shouldn't like be more important than being yourself. And Jake's like, wow, you did that for me? No, I was just tricking you.
Yeah, I was just joshing.
I was just messing with your head.
Yeah, I was just like trying to like completely. I was just trying to fuck with you, like, got you.
And then in like the most extended like end episode laugh I've heard, and I've heard a lot of extended end episode laughs. Adam starts laughing, Miss Warthog starts laughing, Larry comes back with his pie and starts laughing.
He's like,
It's like that one scene at the end of the Dragon Ball movie World's Strongest where Goku starts laughing and then Bulma's laughing. Yeah, it's like that.
And then PF explodes.
Yeah. Pixiefrog explodes. It's pretty sad, actually.
It blows up into purple goo. Everyone's covered. It's very gory. This is the last episode of My Gym Partner's a Monkey.
Yeah, the last episode that PF ever fucking shows up again. He explodes into a big pile of goo. God, it's so sad.
No,
it's just the pie, but it's
just the pie. Aren't you glad we set up the pie? Hey, right? My Gym Partner's the Monkey Riders here. They're like knocking on our window. Hey! Did you like how we set that up? We set that up for the joke, wasn't it? It was a good payoff, right? Like, look, that was the only reason we put the pie in there. Like, I'll be honest. Like, come on, it was worth it, right?
It was worth
it. And you see them like clawing, like there's like claw marks on like the windowsill right now. I'm slowly like closing the blinds.
God.
So next episode.
Next episode.
Next time on My Gym Partner's a podcast.
Hey, I have a confession.
Yeah.
As I've been talking to y'all, I've kind of been scrolling through Tumblr a little bit. I feel like this image maybe should be shared.
Well, alright.
Maybe not.
No. I'm gonna say no. Let's keep going.
Try and stare at this picture that I posted.
I can't. I started thinking about it and laughing.
You stare at it the whole time.
No, I
It's just a little challenge.
Is the implication that his tail is his penis?
I don't know.
And now back to the show.
This next episode is called.
Hey,
this next episode. I know.
Well, the next episode. So
Pride and Pixiefrog. Here we are.
So it's finally the episode where Pixiefrog reveals that he's gay.
Yeah, we've all been waiting for it, folks. It's the episode where Principal Pixiefrog is just like, attention students, I'm marrying Mr. Wolverine, and I'm inviting you to my...
No, that's a terrible ship. I hate that ship. I'm
finally marrying my betrothed, Mr. Krabs.
Yes!
Okay, that's better.
They're probably like the same size.
Yeah.
Yeah, we mentioned that before, I think.
Okay, well, I wasn't there for that, so...
What's the ship name?
Pixie Crab?
Krusty Frog.
That's horrible.
Which is why I think it's perfect.
Pixie Crust! Pixie Crust!
Pixie Crust! I love
Pixie
that.
Crust. Okay.
So we have Principal Pixiefrog centric episode. We're seeing a lot of him. He's in his office on this like little therapist chair, and he's like, my boyhood dream was to make wedding cakes. Not babysit a bunch of would-be zoo animals.
He's like future zoo animals. Like like we've talked about it before, but it's so funny when like the faculty just acknowledges that they have no other future aside from being a fucking zoo animal.
It's so cynical. This episode just front loads you with that. You're just like a kid watching this and talking about like, you know, how there's no hope for these like students for like, you know, educational prosperity. And then we zoom out and it was Adam Lyon like
Adam
Thanks,
Lyon.
Adam.
Principal Pixiefrog uses the students as therapy.
I feel like he just uses Adam as therapy because like I feel like out of all the animals, Principal Pixiefrog is maybe the most human. A lot of the staff are.
Yeah, I think a lot of the adult ones are the most human because they like. I don't like a lot of them. I think we've talked about don't live at the zoo. Like they don't. They have their own houses and shit. Like they're in like when in the last episode when he was talking about the like band he was like the concert he was at. There was like a shit ton of other frogs. So there's like a whole society of frogs out there. Like the school is not his only like contact with animals, but the animals at the school are just like a different level of animal because they all live in the zoo.
They're kind of like it's kind of like subdivision kids.
Yeah.
Kids from the subdivision, you know? Like this
like
damn
that.
subdivision kids, they all know each other and like you get on the you're on the bus and all of them talk to each other, but they don't talk to you.
Yeah.
Because they know each other already.
Yeah, Gert?
Anyway.
So Principal Pixiefrog gets a letter. Miss Warthog walks in, interrupting them, and it's they've some society organization has appointed Principal Pixiefrog Principal of the Year. By what measure, I don't know. He's not very enthused though. But Miss Warthog is immediately like, "Oh God."
She's having a panic attack because she has so much responsibility if this is the case.
She's gotta set up the banner, gotta like assemble like a conference and all this and that. And like all the while like Principal Pixiefrog is very blasé about it because, you know, he did just like tear his heart out, pour his heart out to Adam about like just not being like into being a principal at all. He hates all these students.
He hates his job. But Adam's like, "No, you should be proud. Like you got awarded this thing. Isn't that cool? We should have like a party." And that just sends Mrs. Warthog even into a more bigger spiral. She like flops over like half dead. It remains that way for the rest of the episode.
She is in a fugue state.
And like I love this line Principal Pixiefrog has where he's like, "Miss Warthog, alert the media."
Alert the media. They need to know about my incredible status now as the best principal.
Yeah. Like, so Adam has managed to talk Principal Pixiefrog into being proud of it. And so this is the start of like the conflict of the episode. It's all because of Adam.
Of course, it's always because of Adam.
Oh, we can't forget that it's also Principal Pixiefrog's pride that's making him this way as well.
But he was pretty like down about it. Like it's only because Adam egged him on to
Adam
be
is
proud of
simply
it, to like just have a party about it. That he's just like he's gone whole hog on this.
Adam is simply just a catalyst in this scenario. It would have happened eventually. Principal Pixiefrog would have eventually become this way. It's just Adam sped up the process. They're a reactant.
All right, fair enough. I like that Principal Pixiefrog just disregards Miss Warthog. It's like, oh, that's just like what all secretaries do when they're overworked. She'll be all right.
They just keel over and like kind of stop being alive for a while, and that's healthy, I guess.
So this leads to an opening of a power vacuum in the secretary part of Principal Pixiefrog's domain. And so, of course, Adam, always being like the unfortunately nearest like person in vicinity of these problems, he becomes Principal Pixiefrog's new secretary.
He steps into the Miss Warthog role. He has now become Miss Warthog.
He is Hog.
And so, like, very suddenly, we got Principal Pixiefrog holding a press conference for, like, lots of, like, different, like, paparazzi and whatnot.
Human paparazzi, like, the human press. And I was so angry because he was like, I'm taking questions now. And instead of focusing on what questions humans could possibly have for a frog principal, it pans over to the pack standing a little bit away. And I was just like, oh, I want to know. I want to know what the public's view of animals are. You keep dangling it in front of me like a carrot. I need to know. What kind of questions? But no, we just get
Lucy B like Minecraft pig go.
Yeah, that's me. Winston calls him a modern...
Winston!
You did it again!
Sorry, God, I wrote it in my notes, too! Windsor calls Principal Pixiefrog...
At least you didn't call him, like, monkey or gorilla or something again.
Windsor says that Principal Pixiefrog is pretty photogenic. In fact, he is like a modern-day Ashton Kutcher. Literally says that.
God... Ashton Kutcher, and then I think it's Lupe or Slips.
No, it's Slips that says,
who
like,
goes,
whoever that is.
God, that's like on the same level as this is Kelly Clarkson.
Oh my
like
God.
For the joke from Billy and Mandy.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like these cartoons are of their era, of course, and like a lot of like cartoons these days are gonna make like reference to contemporary figures and whatnot, but it's just so like out of left field when you hear that in like in like a cartoon with like, you know, funny animals in like a weird alternate world, but they have Ashton Kutcher.
Like Windsor knows who Ashton Kutcher is. Like, that's really funny.
You know, I bet Principal Pixiefrog really liked that, like the second. Not second, but like the latter half of 2.5 Men in its twilight years, when like Charles Sheen, he was kicked off of the show, and they got Ashton Kutcher to fulfill the role of
2.5 Men.
2.5 Men to be one of the man, and I just.
Oh, this is so much like my life.
God,
I can really relate to Ashton Kutcher.
I love Mrs. Warthog. Bertha really reminds me of Mrs. Warthog. I need to tell her that. She would get a kick out of that.
He like pulls his like old iPhone out. It's like an older model, and he hasn't changed it in a long time. And he like he has like a group message chat with like Miss Warthog and like Mr. Mandrill and Nurse Gazelle, and he like sends a clip of he sends like top funniest Bertha moments to the group, like a YouTube link, and then he's like, ha, ha, ha. They're really gonna get a kick out of this one.
And Jake is Jake. I don't know who Alan is though. Hey, well.
There were 2.5 men.
Yeah, there were 2.5 Men. I remember one episode they went to a video game store
so Jake
for
says,
Jake.
Jake says something smart. Like, he's like, I don't know, guys. I think that Principal Pixiefrog is going to push things too far, and it'll be the downfall for both him and Adam. And everyone, like, looks at him like, what the fuck did you... Like, what?
They're like, wait, you said something that makes sense? It just wasn't dumb nonsense. I can't believe you, Jake. And he's like, ah!
It's like, oh, that was an accident, haha. But really, it was just, I know Jake is smart.
He's smart.
He's smart. Jake is a smart guy. He is very smart, and he's just pretending to be as dumb and as blissfully ignorant as he is. He knows more than he lets on. I know this. I know this to be very true. He's a mastermind. He's a manipulator. So they're in class, Mr. Hornbill's class, and he's like, okay, time to write our voluntary mandatory essay about why Principal Pixiefrog's so great. It's got to be 10,000 words. Oh, things are getting pretty big for Principal Pixiefrog. Lupe shows off this, like, newspaper of, like, oh, wow, look, Principal Pixiefrog's in the newspaper. And Jake says, like, pretty much the same thing again. Like...
Yeah. I like in the news, there's, like, a thing, like, beside it. Beside, like, Principal Pixiefrog's office congratulates him. And it says, cat burglar nabbed. But it's, like, that you know... Adam during like the Henry Armadillo episode when he like disguised himself as that guy.
I was wondering like what that I was like I knew I had seen it before, but I didn't know if like I had forgotten that if it was an episode that we had like watched for the show already.
It was.
But yeah.
And it's just really weird. Is that actually Adam, or is that just like some other guy that just happened to look like that version of Adam?
Fun little Easter egg.
Would it happen to be Bizarro Adam?
Bizarro Adam. So, Windsor explains that the reason why Jake keeps letting out these like little smart thingies or logical things or like just kind of being a party pooper in general is because when Adam left their pack, that left like kind of a void. So Jake has filled in that void for Adam. And then Jake kind of is like, well, whose void did Adam fill in? Like, who? If I'm Adam, then who's Adam? And Adam, we get to see what he's up to. Puts on Miss Warthog's glasses.
He is Mrs. Warthog.
Yes, and Principal Pixiefrog is getting all prettied up for the celebrations. Mr. Mandrill's like doing his makeup and stuff, and Adam's like listing out all the things that they have to do, like they have to find a venue, they have to get catering, like it's good. Oh, so much needs to be done, and so Principal Pixiefrog makes the executive decision to cancel all classes so that they can get the student populace's help creating this magnificent celebration.
So free labor is essentially what Principal Pixiefrog is organizing for here, and to celebrate it, they build a coliseum, a large monument out of stone bricks. It's like the Prince of Egypt.
Yeah, like Adam is drumming on a drum, and like Principal Pixiefrog is like sitting in a director's chair, like telling people what to do. And meanwhile, the pack is in the line, and they're like, well, I guess Adam is Mrs. Warthog, but if Adam's Mrs. Warthog and I'm Adam, then who's me? Who's Jake? And Windsor pipes up that he now has a newfound love of his posterior, so he must be the new Jake.
And then he looks at his butt and he gives us a grin, and it's like a very like I feel like if you showed me this like image of Windsor looking at his ass in this way, it would just be very strange if I didn't have the context of this episode.
It's very un-Windsor-like.
It's strange with the context.
Yeah, it's very true.
So it's going down the line. Like Lupe has taken Windsor's place, and then like it keeps doing this thing where it's like, but if Adam's Miss Warthog and if I'm Adam and if Windsor's Jake and then Lupe's Windsor, then and finally we get like Slips doing a bad impersonation of Lupe and then flying away.
Yeah, he flies away.
Part.
Yeah. I've like never brought attention to it before, but the noise that they use for like Lupe or like someone flying off in this show is really funny to me. Like the it's so drifty and like kind of eerie sounding.
It's ethereal almost.
Yeah.
So
like the common theme of this episode is that it's weird because it's supposed to be all about like Principal Pixiefrog's ego. It's called Pride in Pixiefrog, but like we also have the after effect of like everyone switching roles almost. But that's kind of like not emphasize, but also emphasize.
I feel like that, like, we've had a sort of role reversal switch already episode,
yeah,
but it's
the sidekick episode.
like really recently.
It's almost like the sidekick episode's premise became like the not really B plot in this episode, but sort of like a
gag?
it's like a topping.
Yeah.
It's like
a running joke almost.
Yeah, and
that's what it feels like.
Principal Pixiefrog is in his office, and the Spiffies are there, and like they're wearing like shirts with his face on them, and they're like cheering for him, and then Jake kind of walks in and he's like, "This is a mistake," and at first Principal Pixiefrog's like, "Oh, shut up, Adam." Oh wait, no, that's Jake. Like Jake said that. Like, why do you gotta ruin everyone's good time, Adam? Oh wait, no. And Jake starts listing off how everyone has become other people, and then there's a little time card that says 45 minutes later, and then he's like, and Henry became the new Ingrid. Like, and you can see in the background like Henry on some stilts like walk by. It's kind of,
I love it up here.
it's really
great.
Funny. It's a good joke.
That's pretty alright. But then we finally as Jake wait, hold on.
No, Adam is having a great time as Miss Warthog, though. Like, he's making these little frog cupcakes. He's, like, really coming to the role. He, like, goes to the bathroom and puts a bunch of urinal cakes that have, like, Principal Pixiefrog's face on them in the urinals.
Yeah. And like, before this, like, Principal Pixiefrog is kind of guilt-tripping Jake for, like, if you want to just stop all this, then fine, you know, by all means. If you want to disappoint Adam and all his hard work, if you want to do that.
Yeah, it's really shitty.
He's going very power hungry here. He even, like, after a transition, he's just in full king's garb on a throne.
With diamond encrusted underwear.
The little terrible king.
And finally, the principal committee, I guess, the school board, like, comes in with their award, but they're you know, very, like, understandably, like, why are all the students here? It's after hours. It's a school night.
Like, shouldn't they be home? Like, this is weird. What's with the statue of you?
What is going on?
And Principal Pixiefrog goes on to list all the atrocities that he's committed. Forced child labor for this coliseum, like, you know, statues in his honor and whatnot. But, you know, they at least give him the benefit of the doubt and show him the little trophy. It's a little trophy.
It's very small.
He's like, "Are you kidding me?"
That's it. They give him like a coupon too, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, where's all the fanfare? The red carpet. I got like a torch bearer to come here all the way from the Galapagos."
They give him a baby trophy and like a $25 coupon to Outback Steakhouse, and that's like what he gets for this.
But I really like this gag where, like, he should be here any minute by now, talking about the Galapagos turtle, like, with the torch. And we got, like, a scene of, like, a serene beach holds for, like, quite a few seconds. And then this old turtle, like, with the torch walks by into the water. And then, like, as soon as he goes under, the torch just, like, goes out. That's really funny. You know, I'm gonna give them props. I think that was the funniest, like long form gag in a long while.
And so they're now reconsidering their pick because of these atrocities, and they take away the trophy and the coupon, and they're like, "We're gonna give it to Principal Wolverine." Hey, remember that guy?
He's the runner-up.
He's still flying.
Yeah.
He's still flying away. Well, like, this time on balloons instead of an umbrella for some reason.
Character development?
I guess flight's just his thing. The wind rises. We must be free.
So, after all this, PF, like, blames, like, Adam, who is Miss Warthog. They're all yelling at each other, and Miss Warthog finally wakes up. That's the end of the episode.
Somebody says something. I think it's Jake says something, like kind of like something Adam would say at the end of an episode, and everybody, including Adam, goes, "Shut up, Adam." Like,
That's right. I feel like there was like a lot here because there's a lot that happens in that like that last few like scenes of that. But oh man. We have to like talk about like the feeling of these episodes.
yeah,
in,
it's
like,
getting
great length
strange.
here.
So, like, what's the word? What's the one word you describe, like, the feeling of these episodes, Renee? Like, what's the best descriptive, like, term?
I think just like anything goes. They're like, it feels like they're gag focused more than narrative focused, which is like fair enough. It's a comedy show, but I feel like you want to have a story that even though it's like cliched, it feels like, you know, well paced and like it and like, you know, the jokes should service the narrative in a show rather than, you know, the narrative servicing the jokes.
I personally feel like it's an improvement.
Yeah.
I mean like
They feel the bizarre feeling that these episodes are giving me makes me just like, I don't know. I feel amazing when I watch them.
I mean, I'll give them that. There's like some like funny gags that they focus on. I mean, there's some misses as well, but it just, you know, by the end of it, you just forget what you watched because like you got like, you know, a cliched plot line, you know, an average like cartoon plot line, but it's not, you know, resolved in like the same way. It just it's kind of focuses more on like the situation, and then it ends, and then you have like all sorts of gags along the way that the narrative is like twisting and turning to accommodate those gags, like the pie. God, the pie.
You really hated that pie, didn't you?
You fucking pie!
No, I don't like hate the pie.
You hate
itself.
the pie.
Like I think it could have been like a funny, like clever gag, but it just feels so forced for no reason, and then like it's just tacked on at the end. It doesn't. I don't feel like the pie was justified for that ending.
Renee in this episode, the pie wasn't justified.
Anyway,
that's my review.
Let's talk about some of our fan art.
Yeah, let's talk about
So, I would like to talk about our first drawing by @BeWeDraws. He drew us a very lovely picture of all of us, and we look so cute.
I love
do.
it. I love this. I love how like fluffy my hair is. You know, everything's so like, like, you know, bouncy.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, bouncing and bursting with energy.
These little drawings, even though they're not like exactly drawn this way, they remind me of those like single contour line drawings. You know what I mean? Like where you just like you never pick up the pencil. And you just kind of like keep going, and it's very like free-formy and like loose. I really like that about these. Also,
it's
these
loose, it's fun, it's great interpretations of our characters. I think it's very lovely.
I'm like a little ghost.
And so last week, you might have seen, we did a Spore stream. We streamed Spore. It went on for a while, but like, you know, it was quite an adventure. We saw through the evolution of Jake.
Yes.
From like a humble cell to like an assed individual as we know him today.
Yeah, we saw Jake evolve from. We saw him evolve, his planet die, and then be reborn again on a new planet, a new world.
So yeah, we did that stream, and then we got some fan art before and during the stream that we talked about on it, but this is some stuff we didn't get a chance to talk about because it came out after we were done streaming. But who wants to talk about this first one?
All right, I'll talk about this one from at Goooooood. I made fan art of fresh out of the ocean Jacob's butt ass for at My Gym Partners a podcast. I hope this is satisfactory, and it is. We have early proboscis inclined Jake Spider Monkey, Jacob's butt ass, as we coined the species name for this creature.
This creature is a very primitive creature, but a very very near and dear to our hearts creature.
Yes, I know it's saying I crave ass.
It is saying that. It is saying I crave ass.
I feel like fresh out of the ocean Jacob's butt ass was like the more popular design that we came up with. I saw a lot of fan art for that one in particular. I think it's because it's kind of cute.
It's kind of cute.
There is something about it that's like somewhat, I don't know, like you do get Jake Spider Monkey from it, but it's like a weird alternative Jake Spider Monkey that is not anything. Like it's not an animal.
So thank you so much. It's lovely.
Thank you. Alright, for our next piece of art we have at Carry Productions 1, and they also gave us a nice little drawing of Jacob's butt ass, and they said this was part of a bigger canvas with a lot of other unrelated stuff, but here's Spore Jake from my gym part MGPA podcast. Spore stream, watching it was an experience.
You are so bad at reading these captions.
Just hold on. My brain had a fart. I'll start over. We can cut that out. I'll do it again. This next piece of fan art was from Carry Production 1. They said, this was part of a bigger canvas with a lot of other unrelated stuff, but here's Spore Jake from My Gym Partners the podcast Spore Stream. Watching it was an experience and a half.
Very lovely.
Being there was an experience and a half, I'd say. But I love like the fuzziness of this one, the implied fuzziness of this Jacob's butt ass. The interesting color choice for the rear.
Well, that's how it was, because that part, it started out like as the color of the body, and then as it went out, it became more and more tan.
Right. It was like the jet propulsion thing. I remember now.
Yeah.
It's very accurate then, and I like it. I even got like the little green tip of the proboscis there. It's all very good. So we just, it was a fun Spore stream. Like we covered a lot more fan art during it that happened. There was a lot of fan art for Adam being crucified. So if you're into that, check the stream out.
Yeah, we have a condensed only what is it, like an hour and a half version of it?
Yeah.
So the stream was like 5.5 hours, but Renee edited like an hour and a half version that has all the fan art. I think 30 minutes of it is just talking about the fan art.
It's kind of ridiculous how long the condensed version of that video ended up being.
But I had to keep all the fan art in there because it's it's just amazing.
There's a lot of it.
Amazing, all of you are so supportive of us, making all this fan art for the funny monkey show and for our creatures that we made during the stream.
Yeah.
Just want to say thank you for that.
Yeah, and speaking of supporting, so we were on another podcast really recent. Well, we recorded it a while ago, but it just came out just a bit ago, not even a week ago, I think. We were on the We Talk About Our Cartoon Boyfriends podcast. We'll link it in the description, but if you just YouTube search We Talk About Our Cartoon Boyfriends, that's the name of the podcast. We're the latest episode, or you'll find us pretty easily because it's the one labeled like My Gym Partner's a podcast, so you'll find us.
We had a lot of fun.
It was a pretty great episode. Like I had a lot of fun being there. There was high energy, high stakes. A lot of like good people there. Go check them out. Go check out the Cartoon Boyfriends.
There's a timer that will. I'm not going to spoil it, but there is a timer, and don't worry about it.
Yeah, so please go check that out and go check out their other episodes. They're great people. They're really fun. We love them. We love doing that. Let's go check us out there. Next week we'll be talking about the episodes Flesh for Fantasy and Substitute Sweetheart. If you're wondering about why we're not doing the Alien Invasion episode, whatever the hell, the Cartoon Network alien thing, you'll remember that. Don't worry about it.
We're saving that.
Yeah, we're saving that one for a special day.
Yeah.
Let's just say things will be a little spooky.
Thanks for watching as always. I'm Lucy.
I am Gert.
And I'm Renee.
And
don't get eaten by a monster. The skyscraper monster is real. Don't do it, Gert. Gert, don't go. Gert, don't. No, stop.
Oh God.
I'm not going anywhere. What the fuck are y'all?
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.